What if the most powerful Sith Lord wasn't Darth Vader, but someone far more ancient and cunning? Darth Revan, the legendary warrior who walked both paths of light and darkness, might just claim that title. In this video, we're going to explore the untold story of Revan's rise to power, his fall to the dark side, and the mask that became a symbol of his inner conflict. Get ready to question everything you thought you knew about the balance of the Force. The rise of a Jedi prodigy. There was a surprise turn in Revan's path as a Jedi, but as a young apprentice he caught the attention of Master Kreia, who was known for her strange ways of teaching. This link would change the way Revan used the Force, and it would lead him on a path that would test the Jedi Order's very foundations. From the start, Revan showed that he was very good at using the Force. His intelligence was the only thing that matched his raw strength, and he quickly beat his fellow Padawans in both mental and physical tasks. But what really made Revan stand out was his never-ending curiosity. He read everything the Jedi archives had to offer, and often went in search of forbidden books and old holocrons. Because Revan's skills were getting better, the Jedi Council became more worried. His questions got deeper, making people question long-held ideas about how the Force works. It became clearer that Revan was annoyed by what he saw as the rigid dogma of the Jedi teachings. He argued that they should use their power in a more useful way, especially since threats to the Republic were growing. Revan's unique way of dealing with the Force showed up in strange ways. He came up with ways to use both lightsaber combat and Force abilities together, making a style of fighting that was both unpredictable and effective. On and off the battlefield, his strategic mind helped him see patterns and chances that other people missed. As things got worse in the galaxy, Revan had to face his first real test as a Jedi Knight. A disagreement over a world's border was about to turn into a full-on war. Revan was sent by the Council to try to find a peaceful solution, but he got caught in a web of lies and betrayal. Revan did something that would show what he would do in the future. He took matters into his own hands. He showed that both sides were corrupt and used a mix of diplomacy and carefully used force to get things to work out. It cost a lot for Revan to bring peace. The Council didn't understand why he was willing to break the strict rules of the Jedi Code. They praised his results but didn't agree with how he did them. Even though Revan passed his test, he and the Order were now at odds with each other. While Revan was enjoying his success, dark clouds were gathering over the horizon. As soon as the Republic saw the Mandalorians, it would be in danger from a threat it had never seen before. Things were about to change on Revan's journey that would shake the galaxy to its core. The Mandalorian Wars, a hero's fall. As the Mandalorians attacked, the Republic shook, and Revan found out something so shocking that it could have broken the Jedi Order. He didn't know that his actions would have an effect on the future of Force users for generations to come as he got ready to make the hardest choice of his life. The Mandalorian invasion of the Republic was like a tsunami, threatening to destroy everything in its path. One planet after another fell, and the once powerful Republic fleet looked like it couldn't stop the attack. In the middle of all this chaos, Revan stood in front of the Jedi Council, his eyes bright with resolve. Even though he made a strong case for getting involved, the Council stuck to their decision to stay out of the conflict. It was time for Revan to face the truth. Should he follow the Council's orders and let millions of people suffer, or should he do something about it himself? He felt terrible about the choice, but in the end, he chose what was right. Revan went against the Council's orders and led a crusade against the Mandalorians with a group of Jedi who shared his beliefs, including his friend Malak. After that, there was a series of battles that will go down in galactic history. The Mandalorians were often caught off guard by Revan's brave and aggressive moves. Both allies and enemies were shocked by the ways he used the Force. He mixed powerful Force techniques with lightsaber combat to change the course of the battle. On Duxon, Revan's forces were able to outsmart the Mandalorian army, which was very bad for their morale. His plans helped him win Malachor V, which didn't seem possible just a few days before. While the war went on, Revan's fame grew. He was a hero to the Republic and a light of hope when things were bad. But Revan felt like something was changing inside him with every win and every hard choice. The line between what had to be done and choices that were morally questionable started to get fuzzy. The last battle with Mandalore the Ultimate was coming up soon. Revan knew that this battle would decide the outcome of the war, so he got ready for the hardest task of his life. As two of the galaxy's best warriors fought, their lightsabers clashed in a fierce duel. Even though Revan won in the end, it cost him a lot. As Mandalore lay dying, he told a shocking lie. The Mandalorians had been forced to go to war by an unseen Sith influence. Even though Revan won, the Mandalorian wars were over, but he still had a lot of questions. Who were these Sith who were hiding? What did they really want to do? While the Republic was having a good time, Revan's thoughts went to the unknown regions, where he felt a darkness that was much worse than the threat from the Mandalorians. He had no idea that this trip into the dark space would change the galaxy from that point on. Descent into darkness. When Revan and Malak went into the unknown regions, they found an object that was filled with dark energy. They had no idea that this artifact would hold the key to a power that could change the galaxy or destroy it. Revan felt like the old Sith artifact was calling to him and telling him about a long-lost empire. Finding it made him even more determined to find out what really happened in the Mandalorian Wars. With Malak by his side, Revan went deeper into unknown territory, following the clues that someone had left behind. They went on a journey that took them to a dark world where they met the Sith Emperor, a being with unimaginable power. As Revan stood in front of this ancient evil, the air was filled with dark energy. The Emperor's presence was so strong that it shook Revan's mind. The next battle was different from any other Revan had been in. The Emperor didn't attack physically. He attacked people's minds with a constant stream of threats and tricks. Revan's strategic mind, which used to be his best ability, turned into a flaw. The Emperor messed with Revan's mind by using his own sense of logic and reason against him. As the mental battle went on, Revan became more and more like the evil side. He tried to fight back by holding on to his beliefs and ideals, but the Emperor had too much power over him. As time went on, the line between light and dark became less clear. Revan made a choice that would change the history of the galaxy in his last, desperate attempt to stay in charge. He turned to the dark side, but not the way the Emperor wanted. Revan's fall wasn't a complete surrender to darkness. It was a risk that he knew he had to take. He tried to get to know the dark side from the inside so that he could use its powers against the evil that made it. A new Sith Lord had risen by the time Revan got out of his fight with the Emperor, but there was still a flicker of light behind the darkness. Revan was different from other Sith because he had a secret plan that came from his strategic mind. Being able to control both light and dark powers made him one of the most dangerous people in the galaxy. The Republic was shocked when people heard that Revan had changed. In his place stood a Sith Lord with unmatched power. He had been the hero of the Mandalorian Wars. The galaxy held its breath as Revan's new empire began to take shape. No one knew what the bigger game was. Legacy of the Masked Lord. Revan was once called one of the most powerful Sith Lords in the past by Darth Bane. As Revan's empire grew and his actions became more cruel, a shocking question came up. Was Revan really turning to the dark side, or was he just playing a much more dangerous game? All over the galaxy, Revan's mask stood for fear. His Sith empire grew and planets fell to it. The Republic was once again on the defensive, but this time, their most beloved hero had turned into their scariest enemy. Revan was very hard to stop because he was very good at strategy and knew how to use both the good and bad sides of the Force. Revan's reputation for being cruel grew as his power did. His methods got more and more cruel, shocking even his closest allies. Malak, who used to be Revan's trusted friend and is now his Sith apprentice, started to wonder what his master was doing. The bond between them, which was formed in the Mandalorian Wars, began to weaken as Revan's ambitions grew. He dealt with the dark side in a way that made him different from other Sith Lords. Dark Lords like Darth Vader and Darth Sidious lived in the dark, but Revan seemed to float between light and dark. He tricked his enemies and scared his followers with ways that used the power of both sides of the Force. He was very dangerous because of his balance, but it also suggested that he had a bigger reason for doing what he was doing. It was easy for Malak to become jealous and ambitious as Revan's empire grew. The apprentice kept a close eye on his master, hoping to see any signs that he was getting weak. They became more and more tense, like a time bomb ready to go off. It looked like Revan knew Malak was getting more and more unhappy, but didn't do anything about it, as if he was waiting for something. At a time when everything seemed lost, Revan's true intentions were finally shown. He hadn't completely given up when he turned to the dark side. It was a risk he was willing to take. He'd been trying for a long time to understand and control the dark side from the inside. Both his friends and foes were shocked by this news, which once again shook the galaxy into chaos. After everything was over, Revan's ultimate test was ready to begin. Would his plan work, or did he not realize how much the dark side could corrupt him? The whole galaxy held its breath while it looked forward to seeing what the masked Lord would do next. It's clear that in the Force, the lines between good and evil are not always clear. His story makes us question what it means to be a Jedi or a Sith, and it shows that understanding both sides might be the key to real power. Fans of Star Wars are still fascinated by Revan's legacy, which leads to arguments about the nature of the Force and the decisions we make. With the new Knights of the Old Republic game coming out soon, Revan's story could be brought back into the main canon of Star Wars. That could mean that Revan's complicated journey could inspire new stories and characters in exciting ways. Revan has had a huge and lasting effect on the world of Star Wars, whether you see him as a good guy, a bad guy, or somewhere in between. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more of Vader's vision and explore the Star Wars timelines. May the Force be with you.